Zaskakujące słowa Rafała Trzaskowskiego.
Surprising words from the president of Warsaw, Rafał Trzaskowski, who said he was the one who made Poland independent of Russian gas supplies. Meanwhile, here in Warsaw City Hall, it's business as usual, with contracts being signed for 3 zloty with Polonized companies which are originally Russian. And in the background is a supply of liquefied natural gas, which flows the whole time despite sanctions on Russian companies from Russia to Germany. What does this look like? And are we still vulnerable to Russian influence in our country? Today, I took a closer look at the situation.
20 kilka lat się zajmowałem Unią Europejską.
I have been dealing with the European Union for 20-odd years, and I know one thing. You have to be tough when you negotiate the Polish interest, when you negotiate money, when you negotiate solutions, thanks to which we are safe. Because we were the ones who negotiated all the solutions for the energy union, thanks to which we were able to become independent from Putin. Can you imagine if we hadn't done all that? But they didn't. Agreements with Gazprom signed during the Civic Platform PSL era, concluded in 2010, increased Poland's dependence on Russian gas supplies. The negotiations, though they can hardly be called that, were led on the Polish side by Economy Minister Waldemar Pawlak. According to a report by the Supreme Chamber of Control, Poland did not even attempt to obtain more favourable terms for the agreement, and one of the government's recommendations was to include Russian proposals.
Kiedy rządził pan Trzaskowski I pan Tusk,
When Mr. Trzaskowski and Mr. Tusk were in power, our dependence on Russian oil and gas grew. When I was Prime Minister, we got rid of Russian gas, Russian oil and Russian coal. The contracts with Gazprom lasted until 2022, although the Civic Platform PSL government wanted to tie us to Russia until 2037. The United Right government opened the LNG terminal named after President Lech Kaczynski in Świnoujście in 2015.
Rafał Trzaskowski mija się z prawdą.
Rafał Trzaskowski is misleading when he says he had anything to do with making us independent of Russian gas, especially natural gas. After all, it was a company that is subordinate to him that made a deal with a company that was Russian and was Polonized for 3 zloty. So claiming that Trzaskowski had anything to do with it is total nonsense. We're talking about the shocking news that Warsaw's municipal bus company is taking gas from an entity affiliated with Russia's Gazprom. The company, just a few weeks ago, was removed from the sanctions list at the request of the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Administration. The Ministry of Interior and Administration was guided by the provisions of law in its subsequent actions, first blocking the removal of the presence on the sanctions list and then giving its consent. The Russian company, Cryogas M&T Poland, now Omne Energia S.A., has been repolonized for 3 zloty.
Oczekujemy, szanowni państwo,
We expect Mr. Rafał Trzaskowski to stop being a hypocrite, although these expectations are very much over the top. Now it appears that Germany is bypassing Russian sanctions. According to German media itself, namely Der Spiegel, Germany is enabling major LNG imports from Russia to Europe. Despite all the energy sanctions imposed on Moscow, Europe is buying more liquefied natural gas from Russia than ever before, including through Gazprom's federally owned former subsidiary, CEFE. Imports may even increase.
Niestety mamy też do czynienia z
Unfortunately, we also have a situation in Europe where sanctions are being circumvented in a clever way, because so far no sanctions have been imposed on LNG or liquefied natural gas. As a result, the Russians are supplying gas to Germany at quantity, and Germany is Rafał Trzaskowski's main ally. How is this possible? The key role in the procedure is played by the state-owned German company CEFE. Liquefied gas from Russia to Europe does not arrive via pipelines, but at ports in France, the Netherlands and Belgium. From there it enters the European gas pipeline system. Last year, a record of more than 5.5 billion cubic metres of LNG from CEFE to Dunkirk and the English Channel in France entered the European Union. It's scary that Germany, however, can't disassociate itself from this gas relationship, this gas love affair with Russia, which is such a raging problem for Europe. The world is immersed in war, in the crimes and tragedies occurring in Ukraine, and Germany continues to profit and make money from these contracts. Business as usual continues above all.